He didn't just argue with her. He dragged her by the arm that once wore his ring into their bedroom, slammed the door, and beat her until her cries blended with the sound of breaking glass. When she fell to the floor, shaking, he poured hot water on her and said through clenched teeth, "This is what happens when you embarrass me, Olivia." He thought no one would hear. He thought the world outside that door was deaf. He never knew that on the other side of that very door, her military brother, Captain Ryan Cole, was already standing there, hands still on the knob, hearing every scream he thought was private. Ethan believed power came from fear. He believed his cruelty would stay hidden, wrapped in silence. But what he never knew was that the woman he brutalized had a brother who'd fought wars, and he was about to fight one more, this time for her. This isn't just another story about abuse. It's about the moment the abuser met karma at his own doorstep. The night a soldier's boots replaced a coward's fists, and the woman they thought would never stand again found her strength in justice. Dear viewers, if you're watching this and you've ever been silenced, know this. Every bruise has a voice, and every cry can become a weapon when truth walks through the door. Click subscribe if you believe no woman should ever have to scream unheard, and in the comments, tell us where you're watching from. Let Olivia know she's not alone. The morning sunlight spills through half-open curtains, painting the kitchen in soft gold. A kettle whistles too long before Olivia remembers to turn it off. Her hands shake slightly as she sets two coffee cups on the counter, one perfect, one chipped. She pauses, staring at the broken edge as if it could speak. That tiny flaw shouldn't bother her, but it does, because she remembers when nothing between them was cracked. The front door slams. Ethan's voice cuts through the quiet. "You reheated. Coffee again?" He's wearing yesterday's shirt, sleeves rolled up carelessly, tie hanging like a noose around his neck. His eyes are tired, sharp, hungry for control. Olivia forces a smile. "I didn't know what time you'd be home. I just wanted—" "You wanted what? To waste power again? You can't even make fresh coffee?" His words are knives wrapped in calm. She lowers her eyes. "I'll make another pot." As she grinds new beans, her mind slips to 2 years earlier, the day they moved in. Boxes everywhere, laughter echoing in bare walls. Ethan had wrapped her in his arms, spinning her around barefoot on the wooden floor. "We'll build everything together, Liv," he'd said, eyes soft, voice steady. She believed him then. A flash of that day flickers in her mind, the smell of fresh paint, the way he kissed her nose, promising, "You'll never cry in this house." But the promise didn't last. When Ethan lost his job 6 months ago, she had stayed by him. He'd come home angry, defeated. "I can't even pay for my master's program," he muttered. She didn't hesitate. She opened her jewelry box, took out the golden ring her parents gave her before they passed, a family heirloom, priceless in sentiment. "Sell this," she whispered. "You'll finish your studies. You'll start over." He'd looked at her with surprise, then gratitude, pulling her close. "You're my whole world, Liv." That was the last time she felt warmth in his embrace. Now, in the present, that same man scowls at her across the kitchen island, sipping the coffee she remade, pretending he's still superior. The chipped cup sits between them, and somehow, she feels like it's her reflection. A soft gust of wind flutters a framed photo on the shelf. Olivia glances up. Captain Ryan Cole, her older brother, stands proud in his uniform. His calm eyes and firm smile still carry the promise he made the day she got married. Ryan standing beside Ethan, all at the wedding car, his voice low but steady. "She's my only sister. Take care of her." Ethan had laughed then, confident and charming. "You can trust me, Captain. I'd die before I hurt her." Back then, Ryan's deployment orders came the next day. Olivia cried as he hugged her goodbye. He smiled through the car window. "If anything ever goes wrong, Liv, you call me. Promise?" She nodded, never thinking she'd need to keep that promise. Ethan finishes his coffee and slams the cup down, spilling drops across the counter. "You've changed since he left," he mutters. Olivia flinches at the tone. "Who?" "Your precious brother. You used to listen. Now you question everything." He wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, steps closer. "Don't look at me like that." Her breath catches. The air feels heavier now, like a storm gathering over still water. She opens her mouth to speak, but no words come out. Instead, her gaze drifts once more to the photo of Ryan on the shelf. The frame tilts slightly, as if moved by an unseen wind. She straightens it gently. "He'll be back soon," she whispers under her breath. Ethan frowns. "What did you say?" "Nothing," she says quickly, forcing a smile. "Just talking to myself." He laughs coldly. "Good. Keep it that way." He grabs his keys and walks out, the door slamming hard enough to rattle the shelves. Olivia exhales shakily and picks up the chipped cup. She traces the crack again, whispering, "Some things break quietly first, before they shatter." Outside, the faint hum of an approaching car echoes down the street, a sound she barely notices. But the audience does. Because tomorrow night, when that car stops at her house, it won't be Ethan's. It'll be her brother's. And he won't be smiling this time. Evening drapes the small house in a golden quiet. Olivia moves around the dining table carefully, lighting 2 candles. The glow warms her face, softening the fatigue under her eyes. She sets the plates neatly, folds napkins, straightens the forks. Her movements are calm, almost desperate for normalcy. She whispers to herself, "Maybe tonight will be different." The sound of a car door slamming outside makes her freeze. Ethan's footsteps echo down the hallway, heavy, quick, angry. He walks in, phone buzzing in his hand. The name flashes on the screen for a split second. Vanessa. Her heart stumbles, but she looks away, pretending not to notice. "Dinner's ready," she says softly. He doesn't respond. He walks straight to the balcony and answers the call, voice low, sharp. "I told you, don't call at home." She's too naive to suspect. Olivia's breath catches. The spoon slips from her hand, clattering against the plate. The sound slices through the silence. She stares toward the balcony, the reflection of candlelight flickering in her eyes. Her mind drifts back to 3 months earlier, to a conversation with her friend Maya, who worked near Ethan's office. "That Vanessa woman is always around him," Maya had warned. She touches his arm when she laughs. "You should talk to him." Olivia had laughed it off then, waving her hand. "Ethan wouldn't do that. He's stressed, that's all. I trust him." Now, the truth presses like a blade against her chest. Ethan re-enters, pocketing his phone, pretending nothing happened. "What are you staring at?" he asks coldly. "Nothing," she murmurs. "Don't lie to me. You've been sneaking around lately, haven't you?" She blinks in confusion. "What?" "No, Ethan." He steps closer, voice rising. "You told your brother everything, didn't you?" The mention of Ryan feels like a spark dropped into gasoline. Her lips tremble. "Ryan hasn't even called in months. He's still overseas." "Liar!" Ethan shouts, slamming his hand on the table. The candle shakes, flame dancing wildly. He grabs her wrist so hard, she gasps. "You think I don't know what you're doing? You've turned him against me." "Ethan, you're hurting me." But his grip tightens. His face twists, half rage, half insecurity. "You think you're better than me? Just because your brother wears a uniform?" Then the slap, sharp, loud, echoing. Olivia stumbles back, hand to her cheek, eyes wide in disbelief. For a second, the room is frozen, the world holding its breath. Then he yanks her by the arm. "Come here!" She struggles, crying out, "Stop, Ethan! Please!" Her feet slide across the floor, nails scraping the wood. The framed wedding photo on the wall crashes down, glass shattering again, echoing the cup from the morning. He drags her down the hall, her cries blending with his shouting. "You think you can humiliate me? You ungrateful woman?" Inside the bedroom, he throws her onto the floor near the bed. The kettle on the side table is still steaming from when she made tea earlier. He grabs it, without thought, blind in his anger. "You want to play victim? Feel what I feel." He tilts the kettle and boiling water splashes across her arm and shoulder. Her scream tears through the air, pure agony and disbelief. She curls on the floor, clutching herself, trembling. "Why are you doing this?" she cries. Ethan's chest heaves, the rage drains, replaced by silence. The room smells of burnt skin and candle wax. He stares at her, then looks at his own shaking hand, but instead of remorse, only fear flickers. "If you tell anyone, I swear." He stops mid-sentence. Steam still rises from the spilled water, curling like smoke. The light from the hallway glints off the shards of glass on the floor. The crashing glass, broken respect. The slap, the final rupture between love and vanity. The boiling water, his greed and rage burning what once was pure. Olivia's mind flashes back to her wedding vow. For better or worse, tears blur her vision. This isn't marriage, she whispers to herself. Down the hall, the front gate creaks faintly. Outside, headlights sweep across the window for just a second, unnoticed by Ethan, but seen by us. Olivia lies trembling, the sound of distant footsteps faint beneath her sobs. She doesn't know it yet, but someone has just stepped onto the porch. And this time, the door won't stay closed. The bedroom door rattles under Olivia's weak hands as she crawls backward, clutching her burned arm. Her breath comes in shallow gasps. The smell of steam, blood, and anger fills the air. Ethan stands over her, chest rising and falling, eyes glassy from rage. "You'll learn to obey," he hisses. His voice shakes with the kind of power that only cowards crave. Olivia's trembling fingers reach for her phone on the nightstand, but it's gone. Ethan had thrown it against the wall earlier. It lies cracked beside the bed. He raises his hand again. "Don't you dare look at me like that." Then, a sound outside. A door shutting. Heavy, deliberate footsteps on the porch. Ethan freezes mid-motion. Olivia's sob catches in her throat. Somewhere beyond that door, someone is there. The footsteps stop. Then 3 slow knocks. Outside, the headlights fade, leaving only the soft hum of a cooling engine. A tall man steps from a black car, Captain Ryan Cole, Olivia's older brother. His uniform is pressed, though dust lingers on the boots. His face carries months of exhaustion, the weight of war, the ghost of loss, but his eyes still hold discipline. A duffel bag slung over his shoulder. He looks at the small house, his sister's home. He hasn't seen it since the wedding. He reaches into his jacket and touches something in his breast pocket, a folded, worn letter. Flashback. Afghanistan, dusty orange sunset. Ryan sits with his squad on sandbags, opening a pale pink envelope with Olivia's handwriting. Inside is her wedding invitation and a short note. "Ethan makes me feel safe. You'd like him, he reminds me of you. I finally found peace." His comrade chuckles. "Captain, your little sister's growing up." Ryan smiles, faint but genuine. "She's earned it." He folds the note carefully and tucks it in his pocket close to his heart, where it would stay for years. Later that night, after a firefight, he reads that letter again by flashlight, whispering, "Just stay happy, Liv. That's all I need." Back to present now. Standing before the porch, he looks at the house again. But the peace he once imagined is gone. He hears something faint, a thud, then another, then a muffled sob. Ryan's soldier instincts ignite. That sound, he knows it. The rhythm of impact, the uneven breathing of pain. He drops the duffel bag by the door and steps closer, his expression hardening. "No one hits my sister," he mutters. He tries the doorknob locked, his muscles tense. Inside, Olivia's whisper reaches through the wood. "Please, stop." Ethan's snarl follows. "You'll learn who's in charge here." Ryan's jaw tightens. His hand curls into a fist. He takes one deep breath, the kind soldiers take before breaching a room. With one swift move, Ryan kicks the door open. The frame cracks, splinters flying. Ethan stumbles back, shocked. For a second, silence. Just 3 figures frozen in time, the broken woman on the floor, the furious man above her, and the soldier in the doorway, shadows stretching across the room like judgment itself. Ryan's voice is low, measured, deadly calm. "Touch her again, and you'll need a medic before she does." Ethan's mouth opens, but no sound comes out. His arrogance wilts beneath Ryan's uniform, his authority, his presence. Olivia looks up through tears, barely whispering, "Ryan?" He moves toward her, kneels, checking her pulse, the burns, the bruises. His eyes flick to the broken kettle, the shattered photo frame. The soldier in him registers every detail evidence. The brother in him sees only pain. Ethan finally finds his voice. "This is family business," he says hoarsely. "You have no right." Ryan stands, stepping closer, his shadow swallowing Ethan. "I am family, and right now, that means I am her right." Ethan stares at the man before him, tall, steady, eyes like cold fire. He takes a step back, suddenly aware of the difference between pretending to be strong and actually being it. Olivia clings to Ryan's sleeve, trembling but safe for the first time in months. Her tears mix with the steam rising from the floor. The battlefield has changed, but Ryan's mission is clear. Outside, Faint sirens begin to wail, growing louder. Ryan doesn't look away from Ethan as he says quietly, "The next person you'll explain yourself to wears a badge." Ethan's eyes flick toward the broken window, calculating escape. Ryan's hand moves subtly toward his belt, not for a weapon, but for control. The sirens stop outside. Headlights wash across the front door. Ryan's voice lowers to a whisper. "You wanted power, Ethan? Let's see how you handle consequences." And as the red-blue lights flash through the cracked window, the audience knows this fight isn't over. The room is chaos. Steam from the spilled kettle still curls upward, mixing with the faint smell of burnt skin and splintered wood. Olivia's sobs echo softly as she clings to her brother's uniform. Her body trembles, the sleeve of his jacket damp with her tears. Ryan's breathing is steady, but his eyes trained, alert, assessing move from the shattered frame to Ethan's pale face. Ethan backs against the dresser, shaking his head. "You don't understand," he babbles. "It's a family matter. Stay out of this." Ryan steps forward, voice even and low. "Family doesn't bleed family." Ethan swallows, panic rising. He looks nothing like the arrogant man from minutes ago, just a coward stripped of control. As Ryan kneels beside Olivia, checking her pulse, his mind drifts for just a moment, a flashback to years ago. Hospital room, 10 years earlier. Machines beep steadily. A frail man, their father, lies in bed, his hand gripping Ryan's. "You'll be the man of the family now," the father whispers. "Promise me you'll protect her, no matter what." Ryan nods, fighting back tears. "I promise, Dad. With my life." Back to present. That same promise burns in his chest now. He gently presses a damp towel over Olivia's burn, speaking softly. "You're safe now, Liv. I've got you." She shakes her head weakly. He said no one would believe me." Ryan's jaw tightens. "They'll believe you now." He reaches for his phone, voice turning calm, military calm, as he dials 911. "This is Captain Ryan Cole, domestic assault victim, severe burns and injuries. I need immediate assistance at 42, Brookside Lane." His tone leaves no room for questions. Tension builds. Shift the coward's escape. Ethan inches toward the door while Ryan's focus stays on Olivia. His lips move fast, whispering into his phone. "Vanessa, he's here," he mutters, eyes darting. "The brother, the soldier. You need to come. Now." He pockets the phone and slips out through the side hall before Ryan notices. The front door creaks softly. Ryan looks up, realizing the sudden silence. Where is he? He moves fast to the doorway, but the street outside is empty, just the echo of fading footsteps and night wind brushing against leaves. He returns to Olivia's side. She's sitting on the floor, eyes distant, holding a shard of their wedding photo frame. Ethan's smiling face cracked down the middle. "I thought love meant forgiveness," she whispers. Ryan crouches, eyes steady. "Love never means pain." The room quiets, no shouting, no hitting, no sound except the distant wail of approaching sirens. For the first time, silence feels safe. Outside, car headlights sweep across the window, red and gold reflections dancing across the broken glass. Ryan helps Olivia stand, unaware that just a few blocks away, Vanessa's car engine roars to life, speeding toward them. And though peace fills the house for now, the war outside is already moving closer. "Rest now, Liv," Ryan murmurs, unaware. It's over, but it isn't, not yet. Blue and red lights pulse faintly at the end of the street, flashing across the cracked windows. Inside the house, Olivia sits on the couch wrapped in a blanket, eyes distant. Ryan stands guard near the doorway, posture rigid. Then headlights cut through the darkness again, brighter this time. A sleek black car glides into the driveway, tires crunching over gravel. The engine hums before shutting off. Ryan's body stiffens. He steps forward, one hand instinctively hovering near his side soldier reflex. The car door opens. A woman steps out, tall and elegant, wrapped in a silk coat. The sharp scent of designer perfume drifts through the night. Her heels click against the pavement. Vanessa, Ethan's co-worker. The name Olivia had once brushed aside with a trusting smile. Vanessa's voice trembles, laced with false concern. "Ethan? Ethan, what happened?" "I got your message." Ryan's tone cuts through the air like glass. "He's gone. Who are you?" She freezes for a split second, then recovers with practiced sweetness. I'm just a friend from work. I came to help. Ryan's eyes narrow. He studies her trembling hands, the perfectly painted lips, the expensive handbag clutched to her chest. Then he sees it. The initials O.C. engraved in gold on the leather. Olivia Cole. That was his sister's missing bag. The one she'd searched for 2 weeks ago. The one she'd thought she misplaced. Ryan's voice lowers, steady but dangerous. Nice bag. Where did you get it? Vanessa blinks, caught off guard. Oh, this? It was a gift. From a client. He takes a slow step closer. Strange. Those are my sister's initials. The lie cracks before she can patch it. Her throat tightens, her eyes dart toward the house, toward Olivia inside. You're misunderstanding. I came because I was worried. Ryan doesn't move, doesn't blink. Then explain, he says quietly, why your perfume is in their bedroom. For a moment, the night itself seems to stop breathing. Vanessa's lips part, but no words come. Her eyes flicker, guilt spilling through the cracks of composure. Quick memory earlier that week. Olivia had opened the wardrobe and paused. Her hand brushed over a silk scarf that didn't belong to her unfamiliar, carrying the same intoxicating scent now drifting from Vanessa. Probably a gift sample, Ethan had said too fast, closing the door. She had believed him. Then, Vanessa steps back, voice trembling. I didn't mean for any of this, Ryan interrupts. Firm. You meant enough to answer his call when he ran from the mess he made. Before she can respond, sirens grow louder, washing over the scene like a storm breaking. 2 patrol cars pull up, lights reflecting off Vanessa's terrified eyes. Officers step out, radios crackling. Vanessa's words crumble into stammering fragments. I should go, Ryan's tone is iron. You're not going anywhere. Inside, Olivia watches from the window, her hand pressed to the glass. For the first time, she isn't trembling, just silent, watching truth unfold. The police move closer, their flashlights slicing through the dark. Vanessa clutches the stolen bag tighter, her facade collapsing. Ryan glances back at Olivia and says quietly, "No more silence, Liv. Not this time." As officers approach, one of them answers a call on his radio, his face hardens. He turns toward Ryan. "Captain Cole, we've got another report from a motel 5 miles out. The suspect's not alone." Ryan's eyes narrow. "Who's with him?" The officer hesitates. "A woman. Says her name's Vanessa." Ryan looks at the trembling woman before him, the same voice, the same perfume. For a heartbeat, everything stops. Then Olivia whispers from the doorway, "If that's not her, then who just walked into my house?" The fluorescent lights hum softly above. The rhythmic beeping of a heart monitor fills the room steady, fragile, alive. Olivia lies in the hospital bed, her skin marked by bruises and faint burns. Her right wrist is wrapped, her lips dry, her eyes half open. A faint tremor runs through her hand as she turns her head toward the sound of boots at the door. Ryan steps in, still in uniform. His shoulders are broad, but his face carries exhaustion, not from war this time, but from seeing his sister broken. He sets down a paper cup of water, voice low. "Hey, soldier, you're awake." Her cracked lips move slightly. "Is he gone?" Ryan nods once. His jaw tightens, but guilt flickers across his expression. "He's gone, Liv. The police are looking for him." She exhales shakily, the relief laced with pain. Ryan pulls a chair close, sitting beside her bed. He stares at her hand for a moment before gently taking it. The burns make him flinch, not from disgust, but helplessness. Olivia's eyes glisten. "You shouldn't have had to come home to this." He shakes his head, voice soft. "I should have come sooner." He looks down, and a memory slips through a flashback from years ago. Schoolyard. Young Olivia, maybe 8, sits on the ground as older kids mock her hand-me-down shoes. Ryan, a teenager then, storms forward. "Hey, pick on someone your own size." The bullies scatter when he steps in front of her. Olivia sniffles, wiping her tears. Ryan crouches, pressing her chin up gently. "Don't cry when they want you to. That's how you win." She nods, believing him with her whole heart. Now, years later, the same sister lies in bed, her tears finally free. "He said I was weak without you," she whispers, voice breaking. "He said no one would protect me when you were gone." Ryan leans forward, gripping her hand firmly. His voice carries the calm fury of a man who's seen too much injustice. Then he's about to learn what real strength looks like. Her eyes flutter, tears slipping down her cheeks. You don't mean... I mean, he doesn't get to walk away from this, Ryan says quietly. Not from you. Not from what he did. The sound of the monitor fills the silence, steady, deliberate, matching his heartbeat. Ryan reaches into his pocket and pulls out that old folded letter from Afghanistan, Olivia's handwriting still smudged from the years. He places it on her bedside table. You once told me you felt safe with him, he says softly. That's the only part of your story I'll erase. Olivia looks at him, pain and gratitude blending in her eyes. What will you do now? Ryan's expression hardens slightly, not with anger, but purpose. Finish what he started, but my way. Just then, the door creaks open. A nurse steps in with a clipboard, her tone polite but nervous. Captain Cole, the officers outside, they said there's someone asking to see Olivia. Ryan looks up sharply. Who? The nurse hesitates. A woman, says her name is Vanessa. The air tightens. Olivia's heartbeat quickens on the monitor. Ryan stands slowly, every instinct rising. Stay here, he whispers. And as he walks toward the hallway, the camera lingers on Olivia's eyes, half fear, half strength, and the faint reflection of a shadow moving outside the hospital window. Night. The house is eerily quiet. The same home where screams once echoed now stands still, the smell of burned water and splintered wood lingering faintly in the air. Ryan steps inside, flashlight in hand, every movement deliberate. The police have already cleared the scene, but he stayed behind not as a brother tonight, but as a soldier following a trail. The beam of light lands on the study door, slightly ajar. He pushes it open. Ethan's office neat, almost obsessively arranged. Stacks of papers, locked drawers, polished trophies from corporate awards. On the desk, a silver pen engraved, "To my husband Olivia." Ryan stares at it for a long second, anger flickering in his jaw. Then his flashlight catches something small and black behind the lamp. A USB drive, labeled in neat handwriting, "House loan." Ryan frowns. He pockets it and sits at the desk, opening Ethan's laptop. The password prompt appears. He smirks faintly, Ethan 1988. He types. It opens. Ryan plugs in the USB. Folders appear. Not documents, audio files. He double-clicks the first one. Ethan's voice fills the room. Confident, arrogant. Once she signs the refinance, Vanessa gets the boutique funds. She won't even notice the clause, she's too busy playing housewife. Ryan's expression hardens. He clicks another file. Tell Vanessa to move the money through the Shell account before Olivia checks the balance. She'll blame herself when it's gone, she always does. He exhales slowly, pressing a hand over his mouth to contain the surge of fury. A man who hurt his sister, physically and financially. It wasn't just rage, it was theft, disguised as marriage. He leans back in the chair, eyes scanning the room like a strategist before battle. Flashback flickers to a military tent years earlier. Ryan stands before a group of young recruits, voice steady. Listen to me carefully. You don't win wars by shouting. You win them with evidence. You bring the truth to light, and the enemy burns in it. Back in the present, that same cold focus returns to his face, and this war's about to end. He scrolls further, through the drive photos of signatures, fake loan documents, even a scanned marriage certificate with a second woman's name blacked out. Ryan pauses. Another marriage? He mutters. He clicks open the file title, Proof, Backup. The screen flickers a folder of recorded phone calls. He listens. Vanessa's voice. Ethan, I told you, your wife isn't stupid. Ethan, then she'll have to learn. Once the money clears, she's gone. Ryan closes his eyes for a moment, letting the disgust sink in. He removes the USB carefully, sliding it into his pocket like a soldier sheathing a weapon. He looks around one last time. The walls that once witnessed cruelty now feel like silent witnesses ready to testify. He turns off the light, whispering into the dark. You thought you broke her. You only built her case. Then his phone vibrates. Unknown number. He answers cautiously. Captain Cole. A voice crackles through female, shaky, terrified. Sir, it's Nurse Kayla from the hospital. You need to come back. Olivia's gone. The flashlight drops to the floor. beams spinning wildly. Gone? Ryan repeats, voice tightening. She left with someone said it was family. The call ends. The house returns to silence. Ryan's reflection stares back at him in the dark window, eyes burning with new purpose. Ethan or Vanessa? He mutters. One of you took her. And as the screen fades to black, the faint sound of a car door slamming echoes somewhere far away. The hum of fluorescent lights fills the police station. Papers rustle, phones ring, but at one corner desk, silence reigns. Vanessa sits upright, legs crossed too tightly, her luxury handbag trembling slightly in her lap. Her once perfect lipstick is smudged, eyes rimmed red not from grief, but from fear. Across from her sits Detective Harris, mid-40s, calm but sharp. His gaze moves between her and the notepad before him. Standing near the back wall, arms folded, is Captain Ryan Cole, silent and unblinking. His presence is like a wall unmovable, waiting. Harris leans forward. So, Miss Vanessa, you said you came here to help with the case? She nods quickly. Yes, I just want to make things right. Ethan's done terrible things. I didn't know how bad it was until now. Ryan doesn't move, but his eyes narrow slightly. Vanessa takes a shaky breath, rehearsing sympathy. I told Ethan to stop. I begged him. But he said he needed the money. Detective Harris scribbles something down. Money for what exactly? She hesitates too long. For the store. Harris looks up. Store? Her eyes flicker. Olivia's boutique, she blurts. He said once she signed the papers She freezes, realizing what she said. I mean, she'd get the funds she needed to recover. The detective's pen stops mid-stroke. The room goes still. Ryan's gaze sharpens. He slowly pulls his phone from his pocket, angling it just slightly recording. Vanessa swallows, forcing a laugh that cracks halfway. You're misunderstanding. I meant I was helping him for her. I cared about Olivia too. Detective Harris leans back, folding his hands. His voice is calm, almost gentle. You cared enough to open a joint account with him? Her eyes widen. What? Harris slides a printed document across the desk, a bank record. We pulled this from the USB your friend left behind. Funny, the account is under both your names, and the withdrawal date matches the night she was attacked. Vanessa stares at it, color draining from her face. I didn't know he'd actually take it. Ryan finally speaks, his voice low, controlled. You just signed where he told you to, right? Her head jerks toward him. You don't know what it's like. He promised he'd leave her. He said I'd finally be. She stops again, realizing the trap she's walking into. Ryan steps closer, his boots soft against the tile. You wanted her life, Vanessa. The house, the business, the peace. Her lip trembles. I didn't want her hurt. Ryan's tone softens, deceptively calm. But you didn't stop him either. Tears spill down her cheeks. I thought he just wanted the money. I didn't think he'd... Harris interrupts. He what? Vanessa looks up, panic-stricken. He said if she wouldn't sign willingly, he'd make her listen. Ryan's phone quietly vibrates in his pocket, the recording still running. He glances at the detective, who nods subtly. Vanessa exhales shakily, realizing too late what she's revealed. The detective stands. Thank you, Miss Vanessa. That'll be all for now. Ryan pockets his phone and moves to the door. Vanessa reaches for him. Please, Captain Cole, tell her I didn't mean to. He stops at the doorway, voice cold as iron. You already did. As he exits the station, Ryan's phone buzzes again. An unknown text from a blocked number. You think you've won, soldier? Check the hospital. Ryan freezes. The camera zooms in on his expression, realization dawning, dread rising. He turns, sprinting toward his car as the screen fades to black. Olivia grits her teeth and stands. Her burned arm trembles. The physiotherapist, Kayla, young, steady, kind, guides her foot to the floor. Every step is careful, every breath measured. Again, Kayla says softly but firmly. 1, 2, shift your weight. Use the cane. The small gym room smells of disinfectant and lemon. The parallel bars shine. Olivia grips the cane so hard her knuckles blanch. Sweat beads on her forehead. Her legs feel like they belong to someone else. Her body remembers pain before power. Ryan watches from a nearby chair, hands clasped, jaw tight. He looks like a man who has seen too much but refuses to let fear win. His uniform is gone. Now he wears a plain jacket, but his posture is the same. Ready. Olivia takes another slow step. Kayla counts. Ryan breathes out when she reaches the bar. Good, Kayla whispers. You're doing great. Olivia closes her eyes. For a moment, the world narrows to the rhythm of her steps and the steady beeping of a small monitor on the table. Each step is a small victory. As she steadies herself, a memory cuts through sharp and old. At her mother's funeral years ago, the house was full of cousins and low voices. Ryan had a letter from his post. He couldn't make the flight home. She remembers standing by the grave, rain on her coat, every hand on her shoulder. She felt very small. She learned then to be quiet. Silence became armor. She learned to stand even when no one helped. That training served her now. Her silence had kept her alive. Her silence had kept secrets safe. But silence had also let Ethan's lies grow. Now, as she holds the cane, those old lessons change shape. Silence is no longer only defense. It is also a tool to watch, to gather, to decide. She has a brother who knows how to fight. She has evidence that can speak when her lips do not. She looks at Ryan. What will happen to him? She asks, voice thin but steady. Ryan squeezes her hand. There is no false hope in him, only resolve. Whatever justice decides, he answers. But I'll make sure it knows everything. Records, calls, the USB. I'm not leaving a single piece out. Olivia nods. A small, weary smile touches her face. Strength returns, slow but sure. Kayla brings a water cup. Ryan helps Olivia drink. They sit together like a small island amid stormy seas. There is comfort in the ordinary. A cup, a cane, steady breaths. Olivia practices flexing her fingers. Each motion is a promise to herself. Why did he do it? She asks suddenly. Not to accuse, but to understand. Ryan's eyes go dark. Not from hatred, but from cold clarity. He needed money. He wanted power. And he thought, hurting you would make him safe. He was wrong. She rests her head back on the chair for a second. The hospital hums around them, nurses, a distant trolley, calm voices. For the first time in days, she feels a small line of peace pull tight inside her. Ryan's phone buzzes. He glances down, ready to ignore it. The screen shows Detective Harris. He answers. The detective's voice is quick, breathless. Captain, we found something else. CCTV from a strip of road near the motel. It shows a van. Olivia wasn't taken by Vanessa. Someone else was there. We're running plates now. Ryan's shoulders stiffen. He stands so fast his chair scrapes back. Olivia's smile fades like the last candle flicker. Who was in the van? Ryan asks, voice steady but sharp. There is a pause. The detective's next words come like a cold drop. There's a second person. Tall, wearing gloves. We can't get a clear face yet, but we picked up movement on a second camera toward the docks. Ryan closes his eyes for one long beat, then looks at Olivia. The monitor beeps on the table, steady and small. Docks? Olivia whispers. Ryan's hand tightens on the cane beside him. Don't move, he says. Not yet. Outside, rain begins to fall in light. Hard pellets against the hospital windows, a small sound. But the night has shifted. The courtroom hums with quiet electricity. Reporters line the back, cameras clicking softly. Olivia sits in the front row, pale but composed, her cane beside her chair. Ryan stands behind her like a guard post, calm yet ready. The door opens. Ethan walks in, handcuffed, flanked by two officers. His suit is wrinkled, his smirk polished. Even chained, arrogance clings to him like cologne. He scans the room until his gaze locks on Olivia. You wouldn't have a roof without me, he sneers, voice loud enough for the room to hear. A hush falls. Olivia doesn't flinch. Ryan's hand twitches slightly, but he keeps his calm. Across the aisle, Prosecutor Miller, a sharp-eyed woman in her 40s, straightens her files. She's new to Olivia, but Ryan trusts her, a former JAG lawyer he once trained with. She nods once toward him. A silent signal. We're ready. Ethan sits, his lawyer whispering fast, but he's not listening. His eyes keep darting to Olivia, measuring, mocking. The judge, Honorable Diane Wells, enters. She's known for fairness, not patience. Court is in session, she announces. People versus Ethan Carter. Charges: fraud, assault, attempted extortion. Ryan steps forward quietly, handing Prosecutor Miller a small USB flash drive. "Everything's here," he murmurs. Voice memos, transfers, Vanessa's statement. Miller gives him a nod of quiet thanks and faces the bench. "Your Honor," she begins, "the prosecution requests to submit new digital evidence, direct audio recorded by the defendant himself." Ethan's smirk flickers. "You can't, those. They were private." Judge Wells raises a hand. "Mr. Carter, you will remain silent until addressed." Ryan watches Olivia out of the corner of his eye. Her chin lifts slightly, eyes steady on the man who once made her small. The bailiff carries the USB to the evidence screen. The judge leans forward. "Play the recording," she orders. A low click echoes as the speakers come alive. Ethan's voice fills the courtroom, smooth, confident, self-incriminating. Once she signs, Vanessa gets the boutique funds. She won't notice. She's too busy playing wife. Gasps ripple across the benches. Ethan's lawyer pales. Olivia's eyes glisten not with tears, but with release. The judge narrows her gaze. "Mr. Carter, is that your voice?" Ethan opens his mouth, but before he can answer, another male voice plays suddenly over the speakers. "Make sure she doesn't wake up." The room freezes. Olivia grips the cane tighter. Ryan's heart stops. That voice isn't Ethan's. It's someone else. The courtroom doors open again, and silence spreads like fire meeting oxygen. Olivia enters slowly, her walking stick clicking against the marble floor. Every sound echoes. Every step reminds the world she survived. Her bruises have faded into faint shadows, but her eyes burn steady. Behind her walks Captain Ryan Cole, in uniform this time, the polished metals glinting under the cold fluorescent light. He looks like restraint built into human form. Reporters whisper. Cameras flash. Someone murmurs, "That's her." At the defense table, Ethan shifts uncomfortably. The handcuffs are gone today, replaced by a stiff suit and a rehearsed smirk. He pretends confidence, but his fingers twitch against the table. His lawyer, Mr. Clark, tall, pale, and smug, rises. "Your Honor," he says smoothly, "the defense maintains that this was a crime of passion. My client acted under emotional distress, betrayed by financial secrets, provoked by falsehoods." A murmur runs through the audience. "Passion?" someone whispers. Olivia keeps her face unreadable, but her grip on the cane tightens until her knuckles whiten. Ryan's jaw locks. He leans toward Prosecutor Miller, sitting 2 seats away. "He's trying to paint her as the cause," Ryan mutters. Miller nods faintly. She's seen this before. As the lawyer drones on, Olivia's mind drifts back, flashes of that night. The firelight from her burning boutique, the sting of boiling water, the cruel echo of Ethan's voice. "Sign it. Sign it, or you'll lose everything." Her hand trembles slightly, and she steadies it against her cane. She hears her mother's voice faint, remembered. "Strength isn't noise, Olivia. It's standing when the world wants you crawling." Ryan glances sideways at her, catching the moment. For a second, the soldier softens. "You're doing good," he whispers. She exhales slowly, like releasing ghosts. "Judge Diane," Wells lifts her gavel. "Enough with sentiment, Mr. Clark. Let's deal with evidence." Ryan stands, crisp and steady. "Your Honor, permission to approach." The judge nods. Ryan steps forward, handing Prosecutor Miller a small flash drive, the same one from before. But this time, it's labeled differently. Recovered Audio 2. A ripple of curiosity runs through the crowd. Everyone remembers the first recording. Everyone remembers that second voice that chilled the room. Miller plugs in the drive. "Your Honor," she says clearly, "this evidence was retrieved from the defendant's personal email backup, verified by our digital forensic team this morning. It connects the attack to a second accomplice." The courtroom shifts, reporters lean forward, pens poised. Ethan's face drains color. "We request permission to play the recording in full." Judge Wells raises her hand slightly. "Proceed." Ryan's gaze moves from Ethan to Olivia, a silent promise. She nods once. "Let it play," she murmurs. The speakers hiss. Then a voice fills the courtroom. Ethan's first, arrogant, laughing. "Once she signs, we move the funds." Then a pause. A different voice answers, low and rough, with a tone that makes Ryan freeze. I'll handle the rest. She won't wake until I say so. Ryan's blood runs cold. That voice, he knows it. He turns sharply toward the back of the courtroom. A man in a gray coat has just entered, face half hidden under a cap, leaning casually against the doorframe. Ryan's whisper cuts the silence like a blade. That's not Ethan's partner. That's our father's voice. The courtroom gasps. Olivia's hand slips from her cane. The speakers hiss, then crackle back to life. Ethan's voice bursts through first cold, mocking, unmistakable. She'll sign once she's scared enough. I'll tell her it's just for the house loan. A woman's laugh follows smooth, smug, Vanessa's voice. And if she refuses, then the hot water trick will remind her who owns her comfort. Gasps ripple through the courtroom. Reporters scramble for quotes. Olivia flinches, her hand trembling around her cane. Ryan's jaw locks tight. Then comes the line that freezes everyone. Don't worry, Vanessa giggles. She'll black out before she reads what she signed. Ethan snickers. Perfect. We'll call it a robbery. The air turns heavy. The judge slams her gavel. Order! Order in the court! But there is no order, only outrage. Ethan's smirk has vanished. His lawyer looks pale. Vanessa, seated behind, covers her mouth in shock as if hearing her own downfall echoing off the walls. Olivia's tears rise slowly, not of weakness, but of final clarity. For months she doubted herself, wondered if she was dramatic, too soft, too forgiving. Now, the truth stood recorded, undeniable, eternal. Her gaze drifts toward the courtroom window, where sunlight cuts through the blinds, laying a stripe of gold across the floor. She remembers her old home, the chipped coffee cup, the quiet mornings she thought were love. That illusion is gone now, shattered like the glass frame that once held their wedding photo. Ryan watches her. He doesn't speak. He knows this kind of pain, the one that comes not from war, but from betrayal you once welcomed inside your heart. Judge Wells clears her throat, voice steady but cold. The court finds sufficient evidence for felony assault, fraudulent coercion, and conspiracy to commit financial crime. Both defendants will be remanded immediately. The gavel drops. A sound like closure, but also like thunder before another storm. Ethan tries to rise, shouting, "It was her idea!" She wanted. Vanessa snaps, wild-eyed. "You said she'd never wake up!" Gasps. Olivia's tears finally fall soft, silent. They trace down her cheek, catching the same light that reflects off the cracked glass photo placed on the evidence table. Her reflection wavers inside it, half broken, half reborn. Ryan steps closer, rests a steady hand on her shoulder. "It's over," he murmurs. But Olivia shakes her head faintly. Her gaze fixes on the back door, the one the man in the gray coat had entered before. He's gone. No one noticed him leave. Outside, thunder rolls low, though the sky is clear. Ryan's phone buzzes. A new message flashes on the screen, unknown number. "You think justice is done? You haven't heard the real recording yet." Ryan's eyes darken. He looks toward Olivia, who's still staring at the empty door. The last line plays faintly from the speaker, almost missed in the noise. Ethan's voice whispered, "Tell her. Your father said it was necessary." Olivia's breath catches. Ryan freezes. The courtroom light flickers. The courthouse corridor buzzes with voices, cameras flashing like restless lightning. Officers escort Ethan down. The hall, wrists chained. His once polished suit now wrinkled, stained with sweat and panic. Suddenly, he jerks free, lunging forward. The officers shout, but he collapses before anyone can stop him, falling hard to his knees right at Olivia's feet. The hall falls quiet. "Liv," his voice breaks, raw and desperate. "I lost everything. My job, my house, Vanessa's gone. Please, please help me." Olivia stands frozen, her cane steady in her right hand. Her heart pounds, but her face stays calm, too calm. Cameras zoom in. Reporters edge closer. Everyone waits to see if she'll forgive or falter. She looks down at him, the man who once dragged her across the floor, poured boiling water on her skin, and told her she was nothing. The man who laughed while her dreams burned. Her hand trembles, not from fear, but from remembering. "You only lost what you took," she says quietly, each word carrying the weight of her pain. "I lost my peace, but I rebuilt it." Her voice doesn't rise. It doesn't need to. The stillness itself feels like thunder. For a moment, Even Ethan stops breathing. His lips part as if to speak again, but no sound comes. He looks around, no sympathy, no pity, only faces that see him for what he is. Behind Olivia, Ryan steps closer. The soft click of his boots echoes down the corridor. His presence fills the silence like steel calm, deliberate, unstoppable. Ethan's eyes rise slowly, stopping at Ryan's uniform, the metals glinting faintly under the courthouse lights. Realization flickers across his face, the arrogance draining away. I, I didn't know your brother was. Ryan cuts him off, voice firm but low, carrying across the hall. A soldier? He steps forward until they're eye to eye. No, a protector. Ethan swallows, his voice cracking. I never meant, you meant every word, Ryan replies. You just never thought she'd survive them. The officers pull Ethan back up, roughly. His knees scrape the tile as he's dragged away, his pleas lost beneath the echoing footsteps and camera clicks. Olivia exhales shakily, pressing her palm to her chest. For a moment, she feels both empty and free. The world tilts quietly back into focus, Ryan's steady hand on her shoulder, anchoring her. It's over, he whispers. She nods, whispering, for now. As they turn toward the exit, a guard rushes up, breathless. Captain Cole, he says urgently, holding out a sealed envelope. This was left in your car. No sender. Ryan frowns and opens it. Inside, a single photograph. Olivia peers over his shoulder. It's their father, standing with Ethan and Vanessa at a dinner table, smiling. On the back, a single line in bold ink. Not everyone in this war was your enemy. Olivia's hand tightens on the cane. Ryan's eyes narrow. Rain lashes the city like punishment. Neon lights flicker across soaked streets as Vanessa hurries through them, hood pulled low, heels splashing in puddles. Behind her, the sign over her once luxurious boutique hangs crooked, the word Vanessa Couture, half torn, half burned out. The door is padlocked. A bright orange sticker screams, "Property seized, fraud investigation." Her reflection trembles in the glass-smeared makeup. Red eyes. No trace of the woman who used to pose beside designer bags and champagne. Across the street, a cafe TV blares the evening news. Former assistant Vanessa Gray faces charges alongside Ethan Carter, says the anchor. Court audio revealed their joint conspiracy against Olivia Cole. Public opinion calls it, quote, a perfect example of karma. People inside the cafe whisper, pointing. Vanessa lowers her hood and walks faster. Her hand shakes as she passes a newspaper stand. Her mugshot stares back at her from every front page. Greed burns fast. One headline reads. Her pace slows as the rain thins. The noise of the city fades into a dull hum. She stops under a streetlight, exhausted, clutching a small purse, all that's left after the bank froze her accounts. Her mind flashes back to a memory soaked in arrogance. 2 years earlier, Vanessa, laughing with her friends in that same boutique. Champagne glasses clinked. Ethan's wife? She'd bragged, flipping her hair. She's too plain, too weak. I'll replace her easily. He says I'm his real future. The laughter then was bright, cruel, and foolish. Now, she hears only rain. She pulls a small mirror from her purse, cracks run through it, but she stares anyway. Her lips tremble. What have I done? She whispers. Behind her, 2 men in dark jackets step out of a car. Detectives, she recognizes them instantly. The same ones who took Ethan away. Vanessa Gray? One calls out. She turns, forcing a smile that no longer works. You don't have to do this tonight. I was going to turn myself in. You're already late, the detective replies gently. Come on. She takes a slow breath. For the first time, she doesn't fight. She just nods. Tell Olivia. She pauses, tears mixing with rain. Tell her she was right. The detective doesn't respond. He opens the car door. As Vanessa steps inside, lightning flashes, and for an instant, she sees something glowing in the back seat. A red envelope with her name on it. She frowns. What's that? The detective glances at it, unreadable. Evidence, he says quietly. Your statement wasn't the only one recovered. Her face pales. What do you mean? The car door slams. The engine roars. Through the rain-blurred window, the envelope shifts slightly, revealing part of the sender's mark. See? Coley Foundation. Vanessa's eyes widen. Her? She whispers. No, it can't be her. The storm outside has quieted. The courthouse battles, the tears, the betrayal, all of it now feels like a fading echo. Inside Olivia's modest living room, the air carries the scent of lavender and warm light from a nearby lamp. Ryan stands near the doorway, still in uniform, holding something wrapped in brown paper. His face, the soldier's composure softened by brotherly care, glows faintly beneath the golden light. Olivia looks up from the sofa, cane resting beside her leg, bandages still visible beneath her sleeve. "You didn't have to bring anything," she says with a tired smile. Ryan steps closer and sets the package on her lap. "It's not new," he says quietly. "It's a second chance." She unwraps it slowly and freezes. It's the same wedding photo, the one shattered during the night. Ethan dragged her across the floor, but this time, the glass is whole again. The frame gleams, restored, polished. The background reflection of the broken moment now replaced by light. Olivia's breath trembles. "You fixed it?" Ryan shakes his head. "No, I just replaced the glass. You're the one who fixed the rest." A tear slips down her cheek, not of sorrow, but release. She rises carefully and walks to the mantel, placing the frame in its old spot. The photo catches the light, two people smiling once upon a time, but now it tells a different story. Survival. Ryan watches her, voice low but firm. "You're not the same woman he hurt, Liv. You're stronger than he ever imagined." She nods, tracing a fingertip along the edge of the new glass. "This time," she whispers, "the only thing breaking in this house is the silence." The clock ticks softly behind them, steady, calm, alive. Camera pans across the quiet room, the photo glowing, the cane leaning strong beside the wall, and the soft reflection of peace finally reclaimed. A letter from the sea, Cole Foundation lies on the table, Olivia's signature at the bottom, marking her new beginning. A fund to support women rebuilding from abuse. This isn't just Olivia's story, it's every voice, once silenced, every woman told to stay quiet. If you're still watching, don't let her courage fade. Subscribe, share, and comment strength, because silence breaks when stories like hers are told.